Hey guys, it's Malachai here once again, and today I want to show you the first Pathfinder I've ever built, and it tackling some of the hardest shit you can possibly do in this game, and that is mostly referring to Core Malachai, or Double Core Malachai, with some pretty insane mods. Now, the character here is called Fierce Flask Man, level 90 Pathfinder at this stage. Some of the videos and clips I'll show you were about level 88 or so. It is a low life Barrage cast on crit character. It's the first low life build I've done at this league, and just kind of wanted to get a feel for a cast on crit character, which inevitably just turned into low life, and I wanted to try out as a Pathfinder. I'll talk more about the character and my choices for this build after the Malachai video that I show you, so stay tuned, watch this absolutely crazy fight, and I'll see you on the other side. Double GMP vulnerability, core Malachais. My body is ready. Lost momentum, feels pretty fucking good. That GMP though. What the fuck? Those things have GMP too? I never knew that. I never knew that. Looked kinda cool, you know, the way it exploded a circle. That's not fair! Oh my god. The meat sticks, the fireballs, just circles of shit everywhere. It's really hard to like outleech that because the damage is so sporadic, not just, you know, reliable. Couldn't see what was going on. I had a feeling one of them was going to explode sometime soon. Could not actually see it. Just cast on crit things. Forgot the hashtag. Hashtag just cast on crit things. Hopefully finish this off without any more deaths. DPS is really good. I could not stand still in face tank. There was so much fucking damage coming in my way. I had no real other choice. My strategy had to be stand still in face tank. If I moved, I would have just died. My god, I've never seen something so crazy. This is actually the most insane thing. Well, that was fun. The trial, man, it delivered. Delivered in spades. So that was probably one of the most insane core Malachai fights I've done, though sometimes a single boss Malachai with really insane mods, as I did in the past, can be just as tough, but when you got two of them with the GMPs, it's just basically impossible to avoid everything, and that's where having a really high ES character, as well as instant leech through Valpact, through Valpact, a Vinctars with a shitload of leech, and just, you know, perma-flask sustain basically makes fights like that doable. So it really isn't quite fair to life-based characters or just to lower life and ES-based characters because they can't do that sort of content. Which is why this started out as a life character, and I could get about 5k life pretty comfortably. That wasn't too hard. But if I really wanted to take on that sort of content, I had to go into CI, and since I was going CI, I may as well go fucking low life, right? So that's what happened with this character, and that's where we're at. Worked out really well. You can build it many different ways, I feel. This version of the character, I didn't go for poison, really, which you certainly can for 2 points, and for me, I would eliminate Master Surgeon. But that does get you into a little bit of trouble because you don't refill your flasks quite as easily. But it's probably a lot more damage if you build around it. Take a Master Herbalist here. That means you will always poison with your EK and Bladefall. Take some other shit like these nodes, and whatever, I'm not really going to get into it. What this character is, though, is Cast on Crit Barrage. Pretty similar to the CoC spray I've already built. This can, I suppose, be called CoC Finder. And this time it's not based on poison, it's a low life, and we're using a wand. Now the links I'm going with are Barrage, Cast on Crit, EK, and Bladefall. Those are pretty much your staples. I then went with Cascade for bosses and added Chaos. This is basically what you're seeing here is my Uber Atziri setup. Usually I would replace Glacial Cascade with Arc or added Chaos with Arc. So Arc, Bladefall, and Ethereal Knives are my staples for general mapping. When you want to get serious for bosses, you more or less go Cascade as well. But it's very, very optimizable, customizable to yourself and whatever you really want to do. We're running a wand. Excuse me, this one cost me about 10C to buy, I think. It's pretty goddamn cheap to get a Cast on Crit wand right now, and for good reason. It's not really that amazing compared to, say, a Cast on Crit Cyclone or Discharge, whatever. And then I spent a fair bit of currency trying to roll my optimal gear. Got a Barrage attack speed, Hubris, rolled this thing myself, 387 ES. Nothing terribly special, but pretty good with 3 resists. Got pretty lucky on a titanium spirit shield. Managed to put in, I don't know, like 1,000 chaos and got a 540 out of it. Absolutely no spell damage or spell power, which is a bit of a shame, but damage wasn't much of a problem on this build. As always, face breakers, some average boots. What you're looking for in a belt as a Pathfinder is flask duration and increased flask duration and reduced flask charges used. Now those are pretty big gains for a belt, so try and get those. And then just, accuracy, ES, whatever you can on your other stuff. So yeah, the way you build a Pathfinder is through flask nodes and just flasks in general. If you can't really get Taste of Hate and a Vinctars, then Pathfinder's probably not going to feel quite as strong for you, because the strength in the build is buffing your Taste of Hate, your Vinctars, your Atziri's Flask, and having them last indefinitely through nodes like Druidic Rite, which gives you extra duration. This node here gives you a bit of extra charges gained, as well as this one here gives you charges gained, and then the Witch nodes up here give you duration and effect of flasks. As well as that, there's a few others you can grab, like Arcane Chemistry, but it's not terribly worth it. And then a lot of the minor nodes here give you flask charges gained, effect, duration. So all in all, you're making a 4.8 second flask last about 8 seconds, and it should be up pretty much all of the time. As well as that, it costs a lot less, and yeah, there's other shenanigans that make it just, sustain. For example, Master Surgeon gives you 10% chance on crit to refill an extra flask and an extra charge. So when you attack a lot, you can get a few extra charges, which is why low life Blade Vortex builds are so popular as Pathfinders right now. On top of that, we have Master Alchemist that makes you immune to status ailments, so you don't need to roll Shock Immune, Freeze Immune on any of your flasks. And Master Surgeon, meaning you don't need Bleed Immune on your flasks. But I did try out Master Herbalist and went with a Bleed Immune Diamond Flask at that time by removing Master Surgeon. Besides that, you've also got this, makes you go a lot faster. You got that, which gives you flasks. So if you want to just, before a fight, fill up flasks, you sit around for about 30 seconds to a minute and you get right back up there. That's basically the build. It's pretty straightforward beyond that. It looks like a low life cast on crits can be pretty fucking solid right now if you want to build one. Because besides this, for shavs right now, I think you can go a low life blade vortex, an essence drain, and maybe something like a spark. I haven't seen too many uses of a shavs beyond those, but cast on crit can be a very solid use of it too, whether it's shield charge, discharge, cyclone, or something like this, barrage. You could even do maybe some spectral throw. Plenty of options available. Doesn't even have to be a pathfinder. Can be an assassin, can be an occultist, can be an inquisitor. Plenty of stuff to build around. I have another little clip here just to emphasize and highlight how necessary your large amounts of energy shield, Vigtar's instant leech, all that is for something like Core Malachai. I've done a lot of Core Malachai runs in the past few days, and it just makes things so much easier. When you play with a 5, 6, 7k life character, for example, you don't have instant leech, you can't really properly take on the hardest of the hard Malachais without just getting face rolled. And this here is a clip of what I tried when I took the poison node. So I don't have the bleed nodes and the surgeon, master surgeon I think it's called, but I do have the poison nodes, meaning my attack's poison, and the DPS is probably a little bit better, but I haven't really built around poison as such, and thus the poison isn't very strong. I don't have vulnerability, for example, I don't have any added chaos in this setup, I don't think I'm even using controlled destruction. As well as that, I don't really have many chaos nodes or poison nodes or anything like that. So in this situation, poison doesn't do too much more for the overall build, and it's really not that necessary. But if you want, you certainly can build around it, like I did in the initial CoC spray earlier this league with the Quill Rain bow setup and the Cospres. In that situation, my poison was doing quite a substantial amount. Here, it's kind of an afterthought, and it's not really going to help you all that much. But there's plenty of ways to build this character, and I leave that entirely up to you guys. I will show you one more last clip of what basically happens in this game still, as far as some bugs go, I suppose. I died at some point on one of these fights, and yeah. When you zone back in, traps can still be invisible. Anyway, thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.